Hi, and welcome to Book Stage and Screen. We're a little bit different today. We're doing a podcast at Altona Library. We're invited by Mama Knows West and Ali's Book Fest, or Ali's Books. They're having a book fest. And we've grabbed Dallas, who we talked to about 2 weeks ago from our studio, but now we're actually all...
Got him in the flesh.
Yes.
Certainly have, yes.
You might think that we're starting to stalk him, but no, it's
not
true.
at all.
No. Now, we talked to you about your book, The Night Guardians, Protect Us from All Things Scary.
Yes.
Before. And we found out all about how you came up with the story. Now, do you want
we
to
can
just,
recap.
Yeah,
yes.
tell us all
How did
about
you
that.
come up with this Night Guardians?
Basically, it's a story I used to tell my kids, particularly the youngest one. At night, any creaks and groans, she used to get up and make an excuse to come into our bedroom. And, monsters in the cupboard and all the rest of it. So I came up with a little activity for her to do before she went to bed. It only took about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I found once she went to bed, she slept straight through and we weren't getting unwelcome jumping in bed with us in the middle of the night anymore. And got up each morning happy and bright, and she knew that she had the guardians protecting her. So, it was surprising how well it worked. And I was just sitting there one day, I thought, I could probably make a book out of that.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it is, I've got the book in my hand. It's a lovely illustrated book. Who did all the artwork?
I'm not much of a drawer, so Yifu done it all for me. He's from down here in Melbourne. I live in country Victoria. So Ali put me onto him and I liaised with him and he came up with the style I wanted and bingo.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at page 16 at the moment. Is that an accurate reflection of you? Is that depicting you?
I tried to get one of them to draw a father in general. I said, whatever the best description of what you portray as a father in general, put that down. Yeah.
So when you're working with your illustrator, do you talk to them quite a lot? Did you have quite a
Yeah,
chat
there was
at
a
the
fair
start?
bit. It was mainly via email, but there was a few calls as well.
Yeah.
I basically had the story and I told him what type of pictures I wanted where.
Right.
After each, I suppose you say chapter or paragraphs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And took a couple of back and forth, but he got him exactly where I wanted them and we took it from there.
Oh, great.
Yes.
And what age would you say this is best directed at?
For all kids that are scared of things that go bump the night, ideally you're probably thinking 6 to 12, but sometimes 4-year-olds. I've had people who have bought it and said, look, I haven't read it to my kid yet because I haven't had them coming in the middle of the night scared of the dark yet. I said, well, just hold on to it and you've got a weapon when they do. And other kids, I'm 44 and I just stopped being scared of the dark last year. But really all ages, but it seems to be more 6 to 12-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Now, it does have an OCR scanner thing on the back of it, and I've just scanned it live
Wow.
on air.
And what does it tell you?
And it's come up with a product. So you basically can buy this book online, is that?
Yeah, it's at ellysbooks.com or on the Facebook. The Night Guardians have got their own page where it can be ordered through there and it's got a bit more of a rundown and different remarks from people over the last few months because they only came out 2 months ago. So, it's got different comments and whatnot in there. And a few interviews and media releases and whatnot.
How did you track down Ali? What's the connection?
By chance, actually. My girlfriend, she's my girlfriend's best mate. Joanne moved up to the country a couple of years ago and I obviously met Joanne, and over the journey I met Ali, who's written books in the past but found it hard to get published and whatnot. So she thought, you know what, I can do this. So she started her own little production company and I just thought, that's a good point of reference. So I made a call to her, she said, yeah, put it on paper, give me a look and we'll see how we go. And X amount of months later, here we are.
Roughly then, how long was it? Obviously, you've been sort of refining the book story for quite some time with your audience.
I'd done it over probably about a 2-month period. Like I'd do it and I'd leave it for a week, then go back and have a look. Oh yeah, that can probably change, etc., etc. But by the time I came up with the story, right, I'm happy with this, through to it actually being released in book format, really didn't take that long. Once the illustrator was sorted, the drawings were done, the story was done. There you go, Ellie. And it was probably only 6 weeks after that I was looking at her.
Wow, in your
Halfback
hands.
copy, yeah.
Fantastic story.
And that's the beauty of being with a smaller publisher.
Yeah.
That you get that one-on-one
Yeah,
and
it is.
concentrated.
Yes, I think the bigger ones are more, obviously it's a money
Production.
marketing tool, and they really don't care. They just, give it here, right, we printed it, it'll be out on this day, see you later. Whereas Ellie's a bit different, obviously she's a lot smaller and people get to know her fairly well and she takes a lot of time and care into it. much like Aisling's, she's done the promotion for it.
Right.
So both of them being smaller companies were very handy.
It's your own PR girl. Not
Yes.
many authors can say that.
Yeah, no, it was good. They work well together.
Wonderful. And the two main characters are twins. Is it correct? Or
They're
brothers?
actually my nephew and niece.
Okay.
So I based it. I was going to base it on my own kids, and I thought, you know what, my niece and nephew, they might get a bit of a buzz out of this, and they did. They've been taken to school for show and tell and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I based it on my nephew and niece. Yeah. Other books, I've talked to my kids about putting them in it.
Yeah.
They're a bit, I don't know, because one's 14. She said, I don't want to be doing kids' books. And the 10-year-old, she was a bit cooler with it, so I'll use other relatives along the track.
Yeah.
So that's a warning, relatives.
Yes,
You're
that's a
gonna
warning,
be
yes.
used.
I think every writer basically like if you just pull out any name, it doesn't work. But
No.
if you pull out the name of someone you know,
You can visualise.
Yeah,
They suddenly come to life a bit more.
yeah, like every writer, basically, when you look at the characters that are in it, that's my best friend from school,
Yeah.
that's my mother's name, or whatever.
Well, you even look at The Simpsons, like all the characters on there.
Yeah.
Homer was done after his father and family
Yeah.
members and all the rest of it. So,
Mm.
it's just a bit easier to visualise and sort of
Yeah.
know the character a bit.
And then what next for you? What's the next?
I'll do a follow-up book to this, The Night Guardians 2, but I'll also do a book on homeless people in Australia, particularly around Melbourne.
Yeah.
Being ex-defence, I know there's a lot of military people living on the streets. So I'm going to go and do a few interviews and basically get the photos, and everything that's written will be their words. So if they've got a gripe, they can say, if they can say what got them there, whether they slipped through the cracks or was their own doing or whatever, whatever they say will go down, and I won't doctor it or muck around with it at all. Basically, I'll just be recording it all in words. And that'll take a bit longer to do. I've got to get around because I live in the country. It's 3 hours from Melbourne. But when I get down here, I'll try and do a couple of interviews each weekend, I suppose. Yeah.
That sounds like it might be giving children nightmares. That
I won't advertise that on the same page as this one. But no, my 14-year-old daughter, I'm going to get her to do the photography for it. Not that she's a photography buff, but she doesn't mind it. But I think if the kids can come and see some of these people and hear their stories with me at the same time, it's a bit of an education outside the normal system, so to speak, and it might just make them raise their eyebrows a bit and think about things a bit harder and realise they've got it pretty good.
Yes. Oh, definitely. And also it's nice to give a voice to the people on the street.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, being ex-defence, even back home, I've got a mate who lives in a swag in the back of his four-wheel drive down at the river.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's been doing that for the last 12 months. So people do slip through the cracks. So it's, like you said, give them a bit of a voice.
Yeah,
It'll be called, What About Us, Mr Prime Minister, Sir? So it's a bit of a dig, I suppose you could say, but without being too much of a dig, just trying to raise a bit of awareness.
Yeah, great.
So you do have a background in the military.
Yeah.
What is your background?
I've done 16 years in the Air Force as a radar operator. It's called an ASOP, but basically a radar operator. Yeah.
Okay.
Which basically sit at a desk and you've got a computer screen. It's like the old-fashioned war movies where you see a sweep going around and aircraft going beep, beep, beep.
Okay.
Essentially that.
Yeah.
A bit more technology these days, but basically that.
And is your job now being an author? Is that your full-time job, or you?
No, I've got a couple of little things on the go at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to not be one of the ones that slips through the cracks. So Veterans Affairs gives me assistance because I've got bad knees. But I run a little gardening business on the side as well to keep myself entertained.
Great.
Yeah, and it's just the girls and I, my two daughters and I at home.
Yeah.
So between organising a house and running around after them and doing books and doing the gardening, it keeps me occupied.
Yeah, that sounds like your day is full.
Yes.
Well, your day is full today as well because you're here at the Altona Library with the Mama Knows West and Ali Book Fest.
Yep.
Ali's Books Fest. I've got to get that right. And you're going to be you've got your books here and you're talking to some of the fans you've got down here.
Yeah, people just come up and have a bit of a yarn, and if anybody hasn't heard of it, just explain without giving it away basically what the book's about. Because I have already had a lot of people saying, that my kid suffers from that, scared of the dark. I said, well, there's a little tactic in here to use. It only takes 2 minutes for the kids. And it gets the kids using their own imagination as well.
Great.
So kids are using their imagination, they said what they've got to do, and the rest is history.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, it's lovely to meet you in person. Thanks for coming and having a chat.
No problem whatsoever.
We look forward to the sequel.
Jolly good.
Lovely.
The day guardians for children who who are afraid of daytime? Is that the twist, or
No, I haven't come across that yet. I haven't really given that much thought.
you need something to
think
get
it's a big
something to
market.
get them out of bed? That's where our child is.
Well,
Your 14-year-old.
When the sun comes up, the night guardians go away, so that might be enough to get them out of bed.
Yes.
Love
Oh, excellent.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.